Occupy Wall Street, Montgomery Bus boycott, and Boston Tea Party all have something in common. They were all protests, and there's protests going on in Romania. Romania is in Europe, and anything that severely affects Europe affects us. Protests in Romania has gotten more violent, and tension has risen within the past couple of days. I have put ample of time researching this topic, reading articles from credible sources like CNN and the Associated Press. First, I'll give you background information as to why Romanians are protesting. Second, I'll inform you about what has happened so far. And third, I'll explain about how the government is reacting to this act of defiance. Many things has caused people to protest. The government is the main reason why these protests are going on in Romania. Alison Butler of Associated Press said, protests continued in Romanian cities, reflecting widespread anger against austerity measures and an unpopular government. Romania is far into debt and still has not repaid the 20 billion euros loan they got from the International Monetary Fund and the European Union in 2009. Because of this austerity measure, Romanians blame it for their terrible living standards. Radica Ganae, a Romanian citizen, said, "We have no financial security. My husband and I are, are retired, but we are sharing our modest income with our children because they are jobless. Many Romanians are without jobs and go abroad to work, which causes them to leave their family behind. The president, Traian Basescu, has not been very popular with his people recently, compared to when he was elected in 2004 and re-elected in 2009. His popularity has declined, particularly with the economy in a downturn," said Alison Mutler. Mutler also wrote, "Critics say he is too outspoken, makes statements that should be the government's responsibility, and grow increasingly argumentative, argumentative, which is inappropriate for his office. The president recently proposed a healthcare reform, but was very unpopular to his people. This healthcare reform uh, caused the very highly respected man, a public health official, Raed Arafat, because he personally didn't like the government's health reform. The resignation of this public health official directly sparked the protest. Protesters has been protesting for the past 4 days, and it has spread throughout Romania in over 18 cities. The protests started in Bucharest, the nation's capital. Liliaba Siabanu of CNN wrote, "The protesters blocked traffic, having flags with centers ripped out to symbolize the 1989 Communist Revolution. Others carried signs reading 'Liberty' and 'Down with President Basescu.' Governments are also calling for an early election, and protesters are also calling for an early election for the president and various other officers. As days have gone by, tension has risen also, especially on Saturday, the third day of the protest. The police and protesters clashed, which resulted in 17 people injured. 9 people had to go to the hospital, including a police officer who got hit with a stone in his head. The protest has not gone unnoticed by the government. The protest has already brought some changes to Romania. The president has already scrapped his reform bill due to the unpopularity. The Prime Minister, Emil Bach, said, the solution is dialogue, not throwing bricks left and right, which can endanger lives. In conclusion, I first gave you background information as to why people are protesting. Second, I informed you about what has happened so far in the protest. And third, I explained a little bit how the government is reacting to this protest. Protests in Romania has gotten violent and tension has risen within the past couple of days. These protests has not come into total fruition, but it has already shown the power of the people.